Hello and welcome to Popcast on the Rocks episode 72. It's an odd day for us to be here. We're streaming on a Saturday, but that's just fine by me. My name is John, and I'm joined by Andrea. How's it going?
Good, good. Happy to be here on in what I called on Twitter a special Saturday episode. So I guess we better
Wow.
live up to that.
Yeah, what are we going to do to make it special?
I don't
I mean, I see
know.
the show run down here. I don't know, like, it's special about it here.
I don't
Don't know.
know, but we'll figure it out. We always do.
Yep. Yep. Well, yeah, we're a podcast that talks about pop culture things,
Hmm.
and sometimes we have drinks along for the ride, um, or to make that ride better, I guess, more exciting. Maybe that's the special thing. We'll see what Andrea's drinking later. But what have you been up to this week, Andrea?
Well, I am finally free, John. I finished my paper. I turned it in at like 11:59 p.m. on the day it was due, but that's still the day it was due. So, I got it in. Even if it is a technicality, even if I was like barely scraping by, I did it. So I am free and I'm so loving it. I'm so
Nice.
excited. So
So
with
what do you keep going with? Is it coffee? You just like, or are you just really in good shape with good sleep habits and you don't need that stuff?
oh my God. No, definitely not in good shape with good sleep habits. As I was telling you before the show, like my paper definitely required some like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. stay up at night and then, fuel it with like 3, 4 cups of coffee in the morning. So
Okay.
it's
Hmm.
it's been a vicious cycle, which you think I'd be used to as like a new mom, like, like odd sleep hours and odd sleep schedules. But like babies do take naps. It's not just like you stay up until 3 a.m. It's like, oh, like my baby's up here, but like from, 9 to 12 or whatever, at least I can get some sleep. And that unfortunately was not the case in writing the paper. So hit me a
Mm-hmm.
little harder than I expected. So I'm
Sure.
just kind of recuperating this week, even though I'm enjoying my freedom, but just drinking a little bit of water this week.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, have you heard of Caffeine Joe?
Caffeine Joe, no. What is that?
So I
Or who is that?
um
I don't even know.
in long hours in the tractor,
Oh,
I need to stay
sure.
awake. And so sometimes years past I had like had a lot of sunflower seeds, but
Okay.
it's
Yep.
like abrasive on your mouth and stuff.
Mhm.
And I've literally had like saliva glands plugging and stuff or whatever.
Oh, that's crazy.
So yeah. So I like to have like then be a Monster energy drink or Red Bull or something like that. But
Sure.
that's a lot of sugar.
Sure.
So I sometimes now have this yeah, water Joe, I guess, is Alan found it here is the more appropriate or actual title. But it's just
Okay.
water with caffeine in it.
Oh my God. That's
So
brilliant.
yeah,
That's
it's
brilliant.
just
I
I
need
mean,
that.
you gotta be careful because it's just water, and if you're really thirsty and you just down it, you're like ODing on
Right.
caffeine.
Get a
But
little jitters.
yeah, but it's nice because it's you know coffee hydrates, but not to the amount that water does. And so
Mhm.
yeah, it's some caffeine in here, and so
That's
yeah,
brilliant. Yeah, I should get that. I should also tell Chris about it because I know he used to do the sunflower seed trick when he was out driving out to like North Dakota to visit his brother when he was out there, or like when he drives
yep.
down to Kentucky to visit him down there. He did the sunflower seeds quite a lot. Um, and he kind of I don't think he had like any issues with it, but he just kind of like grew out of like enjoying it on the drive.
So much salt
Yeah.
too. It's just so much.
Yeah.
So
So I know he's done the run the gamut of energy drinks and whatnot, like, Red Bull, Monster, Rockstar, you know.
mhm.
And it's yeah, they're fine for a minute and then they just like hit you like gut bombs, you know. And
I
even like
mean,
the
I
sugar-free
still
ones aren't I don't know. There's something weird about them. Like sometimes I can do it and sometimes I can't.
I still get them sometimes when I really want that quick pick me up or something,
Mhm.
because with the sugar for a little bit of a hit there, and then the caffeine to keep you going too.
Right.
So, I mean, I and it's amazing how important like having that fuel is.
Mhm.
I was at Taekwondo this week, and I knew I hadn't eaten quite enough that day,
Mhm.
but it was stunning how I just like I would see something done in front of me that I then need to do as well. And I would just
Mhm.
like blank. I
Yeah.
just was
Just
not
like fell
my
apart.
brain was not functioning.
Mhm.
I just needed energy. So
Yep. Did you ever try those like 5-hour energies? Did you ever feel anything from those?
I think I've tried one of those once or twice.
Okay.
Yeah, working
I
at
never
Best Buy.
I never felt like they
Mhm.
did anything. Like, I don't
Mm.
know if I
Yeah,
just
I
wasn't,
thought
like, taking it right or whatever, but I don't know, I just, like, never got anything from it.
I feel like I had some overnights at Best Buy that were long, and
Mhm.
I had some of those, and I mean, but you're getting to that point where you're just feeling weird anyways because you're up so long,
Sure.
and you're just getting all like
Loopy
loopy and
anyway.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Can't tell if it's from, like, this thing I just drank or just, like, I'm loopy. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, well, I'm glad you're free. I'm glad
I
you're celebrating
am.
with the hard stuff, and yeah, congrats.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you. It's nice. Not only do I have, like, you know, a weight off my mind, but also just like more free time to like enjoy myself, go out and do things. Chris and I hit a couple breweries this week because we have one of those um, passes like for doggy breweries that you can go to.
hmm,
So we did that, and then yeah, been able to like kind of back up on some, you know, some TV, some movies, some books. You know, just feeling like a cultured person again.
wow, nice. Well, fill us in. Yeah, I see you got quite a bit done after the required work.
Yeah, yeah. So we've already talked on a show about Ted Lasso, but I'm all caught up on the I think half of season 2 that's out now on Apple TV. If you haven't seen it before, I highly, highly recommend it. Go watch it. It's definitely hilarious, like well done, well executed, great characters, and like feel good without being sappy, which I think is pretty important because I think a lot of shows can veer into that like very
Hmm.
drippy territory. So, excellent show. I am also halfway through another show, not new but new to me. Kingdom on Netflix, which I know you've been watching, and I think you said you finished season 1. Am I
Yes.
correct?
Hmm.
Yeah. So don't tell me what happens, but so far
No,
so
not at
good.
all.
Kind of the complete opposite there of Ted Lasso. Um, a little
Yeah.
bit darker, a little bit gorier. If you don't know, Kingdom is a zombie show, like boiling it down to its most basic, plot line. But yeah, very, very good. And then I've already read through one of the books I got this week, The Midnight Library, which is right up my alley, being an English major nerd. It's a fun premise. It's like when you sort of like cross that threshold. Wow, I can talk. See how tired I am. I need apparently a little pick me up. But when you cross the threshold between life and death, something awaits you there. And in this person, the main character of the story, in her case, it's a library filled with books of all her possible lives. And she gets to go
Mm.
like open the books and kind of like try out these different lives and see like, you know, maybe this is what my life was supposed to be, or like if I made one choice differently here,
Mm.
what could happen or whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really fun. And she like meets other people who are going through the same thing, but for them, like this other guy, it's like a video store and he gets to like take out, like tapes and like start
Yeah.
start the video or whatever. So yeah, so it's a fun little premise. It was a really, really good book, quick read. So I would recommend that for sure. And then I'm also still making my way through Ruin and Rising. the third in the Shadow and Bone Grishaverse trilogy. So
Nice.
it's getting good. It's picking up.
Well, with the Midnight Library, that seems like a bad idea, I have to say.
A bad
To, like, be able
idea.
to, like, read through alternate versions of your
Oh
life,
yeah.
that seems like it would provide complications. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it'd be very insightful, but also at the same time pretty painful.
So part of the premise is that like you get to try out all these different lives. So you like open the book and then you like sort of like get popped into like a moment in that life and like
Yep.
you're you, so you don't know what's actually happening and how your life has changed or what you're doing, and you have to sort of like figure it out. So it's like
Understood.
it's very interesting, but part of the premise is like maybe if you find one that you think is perfect, you get to stay there, but maybe
Mm,
not. Like,
right.
yeah, I don't want to
Hmm.
spoil it because it's actually really
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, cool.
But yeah. So that's kind of like part of the idea is that like you would want to read these live to see if like, oh, if I just made this other choice, maybe this is my perfect life and I should be in this one.
Sure.
So
Cool.
very interesting.
Yeah, I
But yeah,
like it.
it does seem very weird, like, I don't know, it could just like fill you with like tons of regrets of like, yeah, you mean like this is
Exactly.
what I could have
Right.
had, you know?
Yep.
Um, but I think the, like, idea is that, what you think is perfect may not always be
Yeah.
perfect.
Right.
So,
Grass is always greener. Yeah.
yep. So, but it's very good, and like I said,
Nice.
kind of a quick read because it's just so, like, easy to slip into and very compelling, like, the story moves along very well.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, like you, I'd watched some Kingdom this week. Like you'd mentioned, you're halfway through season one. I've finished season one.
Yeah.
I so we've mentioned on the show before, I wanted something Korean to watch,
Yes. Mhm.
help me with just like learning a little bit of Korean maybe. And so this was producer Alan's suggestion. I remember
Mhm.
seeing it quite a while ago and not really, not, I don't know. It's one of those things that gets lost in the sea of many things.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm liking it a lot. And that's despite me not wanting to watch a zombie show. Like I
Yeah.
have no interest at this point in watching a zombie show, but
Mhm.
despite that, it's a different take on
Mhm.
the genre
Yeah.
and very well done.
Yeah, don't you feel like we all kinda got burned with, like, Walking
Yes.
Dead?
It kind of wrecked it for everything. I mean,
Yeah.
because and look, everything else. There was a lot of other movies and things coming along. World War Z. It was just there was a whole phase
Mhm.
of American culture that was the zombie film that kind
Right.
of stretched on for quite a while. But yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I just feel like it was Walking Dead that sort of, like, pushed it over the top, you know?
hmm
Like, we all just sort of got burned out on it, and there were, like, just some storylines that you were like, "Ah,
yep.
no, no."
And I think the main show supposedly has kind of come back, like it's better again, to my
Okay,
understanding. I don't
sure.
know, but I think
I
it
mean,
doesn't.
I saw a, advertisement for it the other day. I was like, "Huh, it's still here."
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yep. That's what I'm always like when I see like America's Got Talent or something. Like,
Some,
oh,
like,
I
reality show
still
that
am
you're
doing
like,
that.
"What?" Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
But yeah, it was, I think I texted you guys when it happened. It's like I experienced one of the saddest moments for me or whatever it was that it just hit me. It was so sad in this show. So
Okay.
look forward to it. um,
Boy, I'm just, like, rushing off to go play it now.
yeah, yeah.
It's okay, I'm
No,
balancing it out with Ted Lasso, so I got
there you
my
go.
my dark and my light.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, I'm balancing it too with Rick and Morty, and Three's Company. So I've got
Like,
com
old school Three's Company?
yeah, yeah, yep. I
What
was
made you start that?
I was in so Ashley and I were in Duluth and we were shopping and I was like kind of sitting in the hallway or whatever there and this one store had a TV up and I was playing Three's Company. I'm like, wow, boy, I haven't seen or thought about this in forever. and
Mhm.
there it is. And so I've been wanting to like watch some more of it, and um it's like not anywhere. You can't buy
Yeah.
it. It's just unavailable. But it is on Pluto TV, the
Oh,
free
okay.
TV app there
Yeah.
right now. I mean, I don't know how many episodes of there will be on there, but it's
Sure.
just the kind of before bed thing now or whatever. So
That's
that
fun.
yeah. Yeah. And then Rick and Morty. Yeah, we've been watching that. It's a new episode every week. I am after tomorrow, I'll be 2 episodes behind. So, but this last episode, I've remarked a couple times at how amazingly consistent the quality of Rick and Morty has been over the seasons.
Mhm.
Like how they keep coming. It's kind of like earlier Doctor Who. Um,
Yeah.
it was um like wow, every episode, you come up with something new and it's great. And it's kind of that way with Rick and Morty too. And I hope it's not beginning to fall apart because this episode I watched was the least funny. It was so disappointing. It was
Mm.
not funny. It was really lame. Rick didn't seem like Rick. Like the characters, it was not good. So,
Okay.
like I said, I'll after tomorrow. I think I'll be 2 episodes behind. So we'll see what I don't know. I just hope it's like a fluke.
Yeah. I mean, people have off days and maybe it was just like an off, you know, entire writer's room. They just were like punchy and thinking like, "Oh, this is really good. We're going to roll with it." And then, you
Mhm.
translate it to the episode and you're just like, "Ooh, whoops, whoops. Didn't hit the mark there."
Well, nothing lasts forever. And
True.
though it's not been going that long, again, it's one of those things where because it's not like a crank out an episode all the time and we're
Right.
already on season 12, it seems like they've, with that, managed to maintain a quality.
Sure.
And maybe it's like, it's hit critical mass now. They have characters and stuff in Fortnite, and it's jumped the shark. I hope not, but, you know.
Oh man, speaking of old shows that phrase is pulled from.
I don't even know what it's from. I remember it first coming up, I think, on American Idol, but I don't know what
It's
it's
from Happy
from.
Days,
Is it
like
really?
with the Fonz. Yeah, so
Yeah, okay.
it's literally there's an episode where the Fonz like jumps over a shark and like that's part of the episode.
Sure. Okay.
And like
Makes
it's
sense.
the phrase comes because it was like so unbelievable and so weird and people were just like, "What happened to this show that was like just about like a
Yeah.
family hanging out at like a local
Yeah.
restaurant?" You know what I mean? Like there was just like it was like the moment that everybody collectively woke up and went, What happened to this show?" So now it's like a show going too far is like jumping the
That's
shark.
funny. Alan found a clip over there. That's perfect.
Oh,
Fonz is
is
still
it the
wearing a
Fonz?
leather jacket.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
it's so stupid. Oh god, I'm watching it right now
It's
in
funny.
his tiny little shorts and his leather
Mhm.
jacket, yeah. So, yeah, so it's literally the Fonz jumping a shark in an
I mean,
episode, and, like, that's the plot, and people were just like, "What? Why? What?"
it makes sense. I mean, because it makes sense. That's the problem with things going on forever and ever.
Yeah,
With the Fonz, he is the ultimate cool, right, or whatever. So basically, he has to keep doing something cool that you haven't seen.
right,
Eventually, it just becomes old hat.
right.
It's the trouble with Wolverine. Like if you're going to
Mm,
keep him going and you're going to keep that story going forever, eventually the mystery must be answered. If you're going to have a
right,
show and there's sexual tension between two people, eventually it has to be
right,
resolved, but then there's no more
exactly.
conflict going forward, like it's always the problem. And so
Yep,
that's what leads to these kinds of moments.
exactly.
um
And this is just,
so
like, one of the most infamous, like, moments that now we, like, speak about, and we use
yep,
to, like, phrase other shows where you're like, "Oh, jump the shark there."
yep, yep. And then still watching My Hero Academia,
Nice. I gotta
still
get back into
watching
that.
Cells at Work. Yeah, you want some motivation. I'm telling you, you just like you feeling a little down or something like that, and just bam, My Hero, Plus Ultra. be
I
good.
like it. I like it.
Yeah. Alan reaffirms Ted Lasso if you're feeling down. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we started playing some Sea of Thieves. We've been meaning to try that for quite a while.
Yeah, I saw you
Um,
got like a little picture here going on.
yeah, I'm the old guy. That's me, the old guy.
Salty
And
old guy. I like it.
mhm, and Ashley's the lady, and Tony is the dude on the
Okay.
left.
Okay.
So
So is it like
yeah,
teamwork
yeah.
game?
You choose your crew size basically or whatever, and you go out on the seas, and you have to raise and lower the sails, and if you
Mhm.
get load the cannons and find treasure and all that kind of thing. Um, it's uh, it's a lot of fun. They did this thing with they have seasons now. So when the game started, Ashley and I tried it. It was a couple years ago. I don't forget when it was exactly. And the onboarding was a little rough. It was a little confusing.
Sure.
Didn't seem like there was a whole lot to do or whatever. So now years later that they've stuck with this and they've added a lot of content and they've added a lot of cosmetic things and they've added
Mhm.
story elements, story missions and stuff and seasons. Now it feels pretty fresh. The onboarding was nice. The game is actually pretty beautiful. I
Mhm.
unfortunately the screenshots I took and stuff are in like standard dynamic range, but in HDR and everything, it looks really good. And
Nice.
it's just a blast. Like it's this season has a tie-in with Pirates of the Caribbean.
Hmm.
So you can go on adventures with Captain Jack Sparrow and stuff. So we're gonna get into doing that at some point. There are tall tales things or whatever. And so you go and it's an original story and
Sure.
whatever else. So it's fun to just like hang out and chat and like go plunder places and stuff. And also now you have some of these cool stories. There's this big like pirate red skull in the sky that's always following you around. That's gonna be some other mission. I don't know what that's about. So
Cool.
yeah, it's been a good time. So, um, speaking of pirates,
Ooh.
the 16th,
Yes, August
Rum
16th.
Day. Yeah.
Where's rum going?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was National Rum Day. I am not like the biggest rum fan. Just so when I think of rum, I usually think of Captain Morgan, which I do not love. Even though there's like plenty of different kinds of rum out there.
Yep.
So I should really like quit being so close-minded about rum.
You
Um
should. I think get you some rum next time.
I need something good because like I don't know what Chris and I what oh no, it was a while back that we were at like some friend's house and like they were passing around some Captain Morgan and I was like, all right, I'll give it a try. Like, maybe I'm misremembering and I actually, think it's fine. No, I took like a swig of it. It was just like, well, this tastes like
Mm-hmm.
college, like, cheap drinks in college and passing out or, just like the
Yep.
the parties you used to have. So I was like, no, no. Um so yeah, so August 16th, National Rum Day. For something a little classier, August 18th,
How
Wednesday,
dare you?
was Pinot Noir Day. I dare. I do dare. I'm sticking with it.
I think that when I watch like professional bartenders, they often use the Ron Zacapa
Yeah,
rum. So, I mean, I haven't tried that myself, but maybe that's a good one to give a go.
sure. Yeah, I was just trying to think about like my days as a bartender, and I didn't really get asked to make a whole lot with rum. Like the occasional like
It's
rum
gotta
and
be just a
coke.
rum and coke, right, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's always
Well,
probably
and
with Captain, right? That's the
yes,
rail?
exactly, exactly. Um, and I mean, to be fair, I was a bartender at a sushi restaurant, which I don't really know, like, lends itself to, boy, I should have a drink with rum in it with my
Sure.
sushi. You know what I mean? So I'm sure that that was part of like not getting asked a whole bunch for that. But yeah,
I don't know. I've never you'd think that, but I feel like a lot of people, they just get the thing they get, you know?
yeah, you kind of
It's,
find a drink and then you get it.
mhm. Like, I'm going wherever I'm going, I'm getting a Coors Light. That's what's happening. Not
You
speaking
mean
for myself,
okay,
just
I was
like in
like,
gen you know, like
I'm sorry. I feel like I don't even know you right now. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I was like, "Oh, man, my whole worldview shifted." Like, I just would not
Yeah,
have
like,
expected
are
John's
all my
drink to be the
memories of John
Coors.
implanted? Like, they're
Right.
all Yeah.
That would be the first sign right there. I'd be like, "You're not John."
Yeah. I'm not in the real world or something like that.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Mhm. You're in the Matrix, that's the glitch.
Right, right.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, cool. I'm not unfortunately not celebrating either day. I've been under the weather, so,
yeah, I hear
um,
you.
I'm not even being responsible and having water like you. I'm having an
No, okay.
RC cola. So,
Well,
yeah,
you're, supporting the pop of our podcast on the
that's right.
rocks.
We got
So,
yep,
way to
it's
be.
something.
I'm sorry, I just laughed
Um,
out loud. Alan says college is Jägermeister, which is also super true.
I never really yeah, I didn't really
Jaeger
have much of
bombs.
that.
Oh my god, they were
I guess,
so
yeah,
b
go yeah,
I
go
remember
ahead.
they were so big when we were in college.
Oh,
I don't
SoCo,
know
Southern
if they still
Comfort. Yeah,
are.
it's been a while. Yep,
Southern Comfort,
Southern
yep,
Comfort.
yep. I remember Southern Comfort in a lot of, like, punches when we would go to house parties.
Mhm.
That was in there a lot, as well as rum. Um,
Yep.
Jägermeister's not like a punch drink, but yeah, Jaeger bombs were, like, the thing to do.
Yep.
Oh, man. This is, like, taking me back right now. I better look at my kid quick, make sure I'm still an adult.
Yeah. Okay, well, we don't have any specific spoilery topic later in the show, like oft we do. So if you're worried about having to tune out because you haven't seen a show and
Mhm,
spoilers are coming, shouldn't have to worry about that. We just have some news. News is mainly focused on kind of anime and animation and
mhm.
some video games. So if you are into those categories, stick around. Um, Share us out, let other people that you like know that we're live, that kind of thing. But speaking of Pinot Noir Day, I think we've talked cyberpunk. Blade Runner is pretty future noir.
Indeed.
And Blade Runner is there's gonna be an animated show
Mhm.
on Adult Swim and Crunchyroll
Yes.
coming this year, I guess.
Yes.
Did you get to watch the trailer?
I did. I did get to watch the trailer. It was a very, like, vague trailer. Didn't it, like, sort of introduced you to the world, like, we have a main character,
Mhm.
she's being pursued, we're out. Like, there's no, like,
Right.
specific, like, this is what we have to do storyline.
Yep.
So
I I was literally I think I was watching Rick and Morty or something and an ad
mhm,
popped up and I was like, "Wait a minute, was that did they just say Blade Runner?"
mhm,
And so that's all it was. I looked it up and I have to say I want to give it a try, but I'm not very excited for this.
mhm.
Like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like Blade Runner to me. To me,
Mhm,
Blade Runner has a very specific ambiance.
mhm.
And though in Blade Runner 2049, it is different, it's close enough to the
Yeah.
original
Yep.
that it feels right. And I think that based on this trailer, it does not feel like it's from the same world.
So this really actually felt like a game to me, not a series. Because
Sure.
I was trying to think about it like, am I being too critical? Because when the Altered Carbon anime came out, and I was like,
Mm,
"Ooh, I don't think I'm gonna like that," and then I did. I was surprised that I did, but like, that still even though it didn't quite fit with, like, the live action version of the show, it still felt like it was in the same world in the sense of, like, this is a show. Like, this to me feels like the trailer for a game, and I don't
sure.
know if it's, like, the animation style maybe that's, like, sort of making me think that way, or if it's, like, the literal lack of plot details that are included in the trailer that makes me think, like, you know I have to fill those in by playing a game. I don't know. But yeah, I'm cautiously interested, but I wouldn't put this at like the top of my watch list.
Yeah, I don't think this animation style does any favors for the type of um vibe that they should have.
Yeah.
Like if you recall, there was a sort of little prequel animation thing to Cyberpunk or
Mm,
Cyberpunk to Blade Runner
yeah.
2049.
Mhm.
Um that was more a little more hand drawn kind of style that
Yeah.
worked better to like flow into what the film would be.
Mhm.
Um this didn't look like dingy enough, smoky
Yes.
enough. It just looked
Everything's
too
clean.
yeah. And so it just, I don't know. I think that a lot of times people they like something and they don't fully understand why, or, what are those elements that makes the thing they love,
Mhm.
or maybe there's just something specific about it. And that's what I feel like with whatever the creators of this. Like I feel like whoever made this, Alan shared this poster with us. It's the poster.
Mm.
Whoever made that poster gets it more than the people that when
Mhm.
I watched the trailer, like I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
I think there was something to me like in the poster like the colors are right. You know what I mean?
mhm,
For like signaling cyberpunk
mhm.
um and signaling Blade Runner and like there were just too many like poppy colors
Yep.
in this whereas like that sort of fit in the world of Altered Carbon. Like there was more color but then like the series was more like animated that way
Mhm.
because it was all about like there was something to do like with the storyline with tattoos and like colorful tattoos and things like that. So like colors made sense in that. Whereas like this sort of makes it draws it out of like the dinginess of Blade Runner and makes it sort of like half Blade Runner but half like poppy bubblegum something, which
Yep.
doesn't work for me.
I think it's, when I think about it now, it's pretty amazing what they did with Blade Runner 2049 and managing to transition from the first one to this
Yeah.
second, because the first one hinges so much and I think was so influential in its now neo 80s retro vibe kind of thing, you
Mhm.
know. And obviously going into a sequel, they didn't lean on that too much. Like they were they recognize we're moving forward in time, so things are going to change.
Right.
So I think it was a delicate balancing act between like keeping enough of the like technology that looks old but is modern, and then
Mhm.
having actually new and modern stuff.
Right.
Um, I just think that was the delicate balance that I think they worked out just fine. And
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. Getting a little off from this show, I suppose, but it just made me think about the two movies and about the genre and how this doesn't feel right to me.
Well, and we've been talking a little bit, kind of as a thread through some of our previous shows about what changes when you take something and make it in another medium and do you really have to?
Hmm.
And this seems like a prime example of something that did not need to be made in another medium like this. Like it did not need to
Yeah,
be like adapted into animation.
sure. Yeah, but I can see in my mind something being done that's really cool. Like something honestly closer is like some sort of mix between Cowboy Bebop and um Lane or that some sort of you need that 80s hand drawn kind of
Yeah,
faded gritty thing, that
sure.
this yeah, I'm not saying it definitely doesn't need to be done, like but
But if you were
I
going to
feel like
do
it
it, at
could have
least,
been,
yeah,
yeah.
at least do it better. Yeah.
Hmm. So I don't know, I'll probably try it, I suppose, but we'll
Yeah.
see.
I
And
mean,
And as we talk about adaptations that don't need to happen and stuff, I'm gonna go hard later on, like being excited for an adaptation. So
Okay.
we'll
All
get
right.
there. um, Sticking with the anime and Crunchyroll theme, there was this weird
Mhm.
coverage. I think honestly, this is like 2 weeks old now at this point, but about Funimation buying Crunchyroll.
Right.
And I was really confused when I saw that because I thought the story earlier in the year or late last year or something was that Sony was buying Crunchyroll. Well, that is the case. Sony owns Crunchyroll and Funimation. And so the
Mhm.
story, the headline should be that Sony is merging
Merging
Funimation
them.
and Crunchyroll.
Mhm.
So I just got confused and like thought maybe I had misunderstood what had happened in the past. But um yeah. So we've talked about this a little before.
Mhm.
What do you think this does to the anime landscape, the streaming space with that? Do you like Sony owning both of these? What service do you think that they're going to create out of this? Should be a new name or should it be under one of the names of the other already or
Yeah, you can't really combine them. There's no good combination of Crunchyroll.
Crunchimation?
Crunchimation.
Funaroll. I don't know.
Funeral. Oh boy.
Yeah. I mean Crunchimation, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like very funny as you say, Crunchimation, but yeah,
Mhm.
I have a hard time believing that service is gonna sell.
Yeah, no.
Um, yeah, I think they'll probably create a new platform. I don't know
Okay.
how that's gonna look, like, if you get to roll over accounts into it for a while, like HBO
Mhm.
Max did, like, "Oh, you had HBO Go, like, here, let's roll you over into HBO Max for a while," and eventually, you
Right.
might have to pay an upgraded fee or whatever. We'll see how that goes, but, yeah, I can't imagine a scenario where they would, like, not make a new platform. Um, which for me, I mean, I like in terms of I have Crunchyroll right now, and I don't have Funimation, so having access to like Funimation, if the price isn't like wildly different, um, I'm excited about that for sure. It does, it does bring about like some concerns about like, yeah, this is a big merger. Um, are there going to be aspects that I don't like? Are they going to focus on, one platform's content over the other, or are they keeping like everybody in place and everybody gets to keep their same jobs to oversee, the roster of these shows, or is, one person going to take over? I don't know. I think there were some comments floating around out there about like, oh God, don't let Funimation be in charge of dubs because they're historically terrible at that.
I would
Let
yeah.
Crunchyroll's team show them how it's done and who to hire. So things like that. I mean, I think are valid concerns. Unfortunately, we can't do anything about them other than maybe
Yep.
put them out there and just be like, hey, just as your loyal subscribers, this is how we feel. But I don't know.
I
I'm
think
I'm just happy that
Good.
like in the present day, they're not the only source for anime because I think other platforms
Right.
are picking it up too and
Yep.
growing that market.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, I with the dubbing and subtitling and all that stuff, I think that Funimation, when their years of doing this, have just gotten a little, I don't know what's the word for it. Just a little comfortable
A little
in
lazy.
editorializing.
Mhm.
They're just like, we're adapting this for an American audience. And so they just get a little lax in
Yeah.
doing that versus like being a little more strict with the original intent, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, who knows? I think ultimately this is good, hopefully. Um, like you say, with merging, some people are going to lose their jobs or something probably, and that won't be fun.
Mhm.
But I think for the landscape and for Sony, I think it will be good I hope they stick with the name Crunchyroll. I think
Yeah.
Crunchyroll has earned a pretty good reputation, has a pretty strong following, is just well known in the industry, and
Mhm.
changing to something else, I think you're risking losing all that name brand cachet that you've built up over the years.
Mhm.
Um, and they've already been working together a little bit with simuldubs and different things in the past couple years or whatever. So I see no issue why, because Funimation is a production, like studio. They bring anime in and adapt it. They have their voice actors. They create dubs, for
Right.
things and stuff. Like it's a specific thing like that. And Crunchyroll obviously is this too, but it's a larger umbrella, I think.
Mhm.
And so yeah. I think it's gonna be good for the landscape. I think that is almost a necessary move. Like I think Funimation wasn't gonna get the subscribers they needed, just
Right.
from them not having, the money, so we're pooling resources and to compete against the likes of Netflix,
Mhm.
in particular. I think that this is gonna be a necessary move. So
Yeah, it's smart. It's smart for sure. I um and I think with that in mind, like being like you said, a necessary move to compete with giants like Netflix who are, expanding into the anime territory. I think that every change or every, you know, decision that's made is going to be made for maximizing like pleasing subscribers. You know what I mean? Like not giving anybody any incentive to leave, and then also like how do we attract new subscribers? So I think there'll be a lot of like decisions made with viewers in mind.
yep, yep. Well, sticking on the animation topic,
Mhm.
I am very excited for, it's not anime, but an animated show, Nightmare of the Wolf,
Yeah.
a Witcher animated show. It's got a pretty
Mhm.
good cast as well. Theo James is in there, Graham
Mhm.
McTavish, Mary McDonald from Battlestar Galactica. So,
Those first 2 names right there were a little like Castlevania reunion happening, and then you moved on.
right? Hmm. No, I'm thinking they're going to get a lot more work
Yeah.
in this for sure going forward. Um, and they're probably on Netflix's roster now. This is coming to Netflix. It's
Mhm.
coming out on Monday,
Yep.
and it's a animated show about um, Geralt's mentor Vesemir, kind of
Mhm.
his origin story. So
Yep.
I would have loved to see this in live action in the vein of the Witcher television show,
Mhm.
but at the same time, I love the character of Vesemir, so I'm cool with seeing this unexplored territory.
Mhm.
As far as I know, again, I'm not familiar with the books, so I'm sorry, but
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah,
Are
this
you
looks
gonna
like
give this a
fun.
try? Because I know you haven't really gotten into the Witcher stuff yet.
Yeah, so I was waiting for Chris because he got upset when I started like the first 10 minutes of The Witcher without him. And
Mhm.
then I feel like we've just sort of like branched out into so many other shows that he's kind of like, yeah, fine, just like go watch it now. So now I have like the official green light to start Witcher by myself and I don't have to wait for him. So
Okay.
so I may not hit this right when it gets out just because I feel like I want to get into like the original OG Witcher. Um, but yeah, this trailer looked really good, so I'd probably watch it after I see
Okay.
season 1.
Well, OG Witcher, I mean, you need to,
OG.
read the books
Well, I
and,
do have the first book. That's like next on
yeah,
my list. I
and
I have to finish Rune and Rising so I can like close the chapter on that trilogy, and then
right.
I'm starting. I can't remember what it was called. Blood of Elves, I think it was.
Okay, that sounds
I picked
right.
it up. It's somewhere in my house.
Hmm. It's somewhere here.
Ugh, man.
Um,
It's me knowing that it's inside my house. That's about as good as it gets these days.
I'm glad that we're kind of in this. I mean, we're in this weird stage now where, um, I mean, between Blade Runner and Nightmare of the Wolf and Blood of Zeus and Castlevania, it's this big influx of
Yeah.
different sort of um, adult oriented animation. Is pretty cool.
Mhm.
So, one more animation story.
Yeah.
Um, Star Wars. Now this one's back to actual anime again. Star Wars Visions. They released a new trailer,
Mhm.
and it just has me floored. I'm just like, this these people are going to come in here and they're going to show these lazy, terrible people in the Lucasfilm writers room how to make Star Wars cool.
Mhm.
Um, it I could be completely wrong, but I don't think I'm going to be. They got the Kill la Kill people in there clearly making something. They got a lot of talent doing their vision of some sort of Star Wars story that of course won't be canon or whatever, So
Right.
they're really free to explore.
Right.
But I think this is going to be like just the best thing we've seen from Star Wars in a long, long time.
Does that include The Mandalorian? Or are you setting that outside of what you're talking about Star Wars?
Um, I'm including The Mandalorian
Okay.
because,
Bold, I like it.
yeah, um, yeah. I mean, we'll see. Mandalorian um, was pretty consistent, and I have to say that like there was a lot of really good moments in there for sure.
Mhm.
Um, I don't want to
Doesn't mean it can't be
say,
bested,
yeah, and
or
I don't want to
and,
say
like,
some
something
of
can't be
my
better.
criticism without spoiling anything for you,
Mhm.
and anyone else that hasn't seen it yet and stuff. But yeah, I'm pumped for this.
Yeah, this
Star
looks
Wars has
great.
been, I mean, Japan has been one of the big markets for Star Wars for
Mhm.
sure. They've been a passionate fan base there for a long time,
Mhm.
and it's exciting to see the property get turned over to people that are passionate about what Star Wars is,
Right.
as opposed to people that I don't know, want a paycheck and have a different idea what Star Wars should be. So yeah. Um, Sorry, I kind of rambled there. Do you have any other thoughts on the Star Wars
No,
Visions?
I like you, I'm excited to see it. I mean, we've well trod over the ground of, how crappy we think Star Wars, the films, and, some television shows. I will exclude The Mandalorian from
Hmm.
my criticism of saying like how poorly they've been written, how sloppily they've been put together, and this just looks like sharp, tight storytelling, and like you said, very like inventive. I mean, it must be really freeing when you feel like you don't have to stick to canon, and you don't have to like, kind of like fit a narrative into something. You can just like run wild with your ideas. And so I'm excited to see what these creators have come up with. And I'm kind of really right now I'm really liking shows where you don't necessarily have to episodes don't necessarily have to follow up with one another. Like I'm watching Love, Death
Hmm.
and Robots,
Oh yeah.
continuing that, doesn't have to be related to one another to just like be a part of the same like bigger universe, but you don't have to like follow a thread line. It just
Hmm.
can be like a same theme, and it can just be really fun to just be in one direction one time, and then the next episode takes you somewhere totally different. So I'm excited for that here.
Nice. Cool. I forgot to ask you if you're
Oh,
watching Marvel's What If.
I haven't actually started that yet.
Okay. Okay.
That's one I do have to wait for Chris for.
Okay.
Because he's
All
he's
right.
very excited about it. I think he's more excited than me because I'm definitely of the like I don't know how I feel. I get very attached to storylines and characters being a certain way, and just like I know the whole point of the show is that like, well, what if this happened?
Yeah.
Um, and it can totally change a storyline. But I don't know. Like I get twitchy when like different voices replace characters or different like
Mhm.
live action characters replace characters. I get twitchy about that kind of stuff. So I don't know how I'm gonna feel about What If. So I feel like
I
I
I
might
just
need
think
him to like drag me into it and like make me watch it.
hmm, I just think it doesn't even look cool. Like just visually, it does. I mean, if they had
Mm,
given
sure.
this to um these same anime studios, we would have a different
Hmm.
outlook right now. But it just doesn't even I don't know. I don't know what's with
It's a
this resurgence of the CGI looking animation. I just
yeah,
am
it's a
not a
very
fan.
very specific style, and I don't know that I'm gonna love it either. Because like I'm sort of picturing some of the scenes from the trailer, like Captain Carter, um,
Mhm.
doing her superhero landing and whatnot, and um, Killmonger coming in to save Tony Stark and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't
I
know.
mean, do you remember it was on like I think Toonami and stuff. It was called I think Reboot.
Reboot?
Um
No.
it felt like one of the earlier CGI animated cartoons. It was kind
Okay.
of its thing, it was all dealing with, being in a computer. There were computer people, it was like a family, and their name was like Bit or Byte or whatever, and
Oh,
they were kind of
vaguely.
blue people.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Vaguely.
yeah, I mean, that was neat because it was felt really new, like,
Mhm.
oh, this is something different. But ever since then, CGI animation stands out in anime to me, usually in
Mhm.
a negative way. Um, and it's just like, unless you're gonna do the Pixar level kind of thing,
Mhm.
um, I think it's I don't know. I don't know if maybe there's someone that's very appealing to. They just really
Mhm.
dig that style. But I don't know anyone that it feels that way for sure.
It's to me, it just feels very blunt. Like there's not a lot of detail. Like I'm trying to
Mm.
like I'm thinking about like the faces
Mhm.
in the trailer and stuff like that, and it just feels like they're more like suggestions than they are like detailed, filled in.
And clean. It's the same
And
problem with using it
yeah.
for the Blade Runner. It's clean.
Yes. Yep.
I like
Yeah.
that's one of my biggest problems with there's the Blam manga I like so much.
Mm.
Um the one story they made a movie of it on Netflix, and it's pretty good, but they use that CG style. And when you look at the original art, it's just like gritty pencil. Like
Mm.
it's
Mhm.
detailed, it's dirty, it's imprecise at times. Like it's the juxtaposition of the precision of the like brutal architecture,
Mhm.
but then also the imprecision of the people and the
Right.
life forms and stuff. And so then you take this movie that's made in CG and super clean, it just doesn't feel the same at all.
Sure.
And I guess maybe that works for Marvel. They want this clean feel. It just doesn't appeal to me. So that's not helping its case for me.
Right. Not helping to get you in it.
Yeah,
Yeah. I like I said, I know Chris is really excited about it. He thought it was a really cool premise, so I think he's going to have to like start it off for me to watch it and then we'll see.
sure. Well, speaking of things I would imagine you guys are into,
Yeah.
Pokemon Presents.
Indeed, indeed. They got a new little mobile game coming out. I think paired with Nintendo Switch. It was like Pokemon Battle Unite, I want to say, that had me
That's out on
intrigued.
Switch right now, yep, and it will be coming to mobile.
Yep.
later. Yes.
Pre-registration is up right now, and I signed myself up for that. So we'll see.
Okay.
That
Okay.
looks like
I
fun.
mean, before you know it, you're gonna be rage quitting in League of Legends lobbies with the worst of them.
That's right.
So, um, yeah, I mean, lots of Pokemon news
Hmm.
there. Was there anything else that stuck out to you that you're really interested from that? They covered the remakes of Pokemon Diamond
Hmm.
and Pearl.
Yep, that looked like fun. It looked
Mhm.
also like much needed updates and remakes for Diamond and Pearl. A lot of new features that I think that they were saying that they felt like fans were missing.
Okay.
They did give some Pokemon Go updates as well, but we're already like in the middle of those. 'Cause
I was gonna say,
they
yeah.
released new Pokemon. I've caught all of them, including the new legendary fairy dog that they just released, who looks pretty sweet. I'm not gonna lie to you, but he's a fairy Pokemon, so unfortunately, like in Pokemon Go, he's nearly useless. But
Aw,
whatever,
as a
I got him
defender, it
anyway.
should have high HP, right?
He does, yeah. I mean, he takes a while to battle, which obviously is like his strong suit. He's not like an attacker, but unfortunately, so much of Pokemon Go is focused on you attacking. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like just like between like the
Right.
battle leagues and needing Pokemon that can fight to win raids and things like that. He's just not as useful as I think he could be if they'd retooled some aspects of the game.
We just would put that kind of Pokemon in the gyms to hopefully hold the
Yeah.
gym a little longer, you
Mhm.
know?
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Yeah, it's good because I feel like people usually end up putting like too many of the same kind of Pokemon in there, and you're like,
mm,
you should really like spread this out. Like, we can
so you
have
can't
different
use
things in
one
there.
type and just plow through everything? Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah.
Um, I would say now, be honest, the real reason you're tired is because you've been catching all these Pokemon. It's
That's
not
right.
your it's not your work, it's like, I prowl in the neighborhood for the latest Pokemon.
That's right. That's right. Got to catch them all. Catch them
Yep.
all. I won't lie though. Like, it is really nice to like have something on my phone to do when I am like up late. Um,
Mm.
with the baby, or like if I need like a 15-minute break. Needed. Now I don't need to do it anymore. Needed a 15-minute break from writing my paper. It was nice
You
to
need
just
a
be like
15-minute break from staring at one screen to stare
to
at
stare at
another.
another. That's right. That's our whole lives now, John. Is just like, what screen am I going to stare at for the next 15 minutes or so?
Yeah. Mhm. Yep. Well, the only thing I'm really kind of interested in, sorry for viewers that are watching, I just like my cold is like
And a little
allergies or
flare up
whatever.
there.
I know. Um, it's I'm just remembering Kingdom actually. I'm really sad at that moment. No, the only moment or thing that I'm really excited for, I guess, from Pokemon Presents was probably the new trailer for Pokemon Arceus, the
Mm-hmm.
sort of open world Breath of the Wild looking
Mm-hmm.
catch Pokemon thing. I think if there's anything that's going to get me back into Pokemon at some point, maybe it will be that.
Sure.
So,
That would make sense.
yeah. Yeah. For those that follow the Twitch channel or YouTube or whatever, you maybe have seen me streaming some games recently. Well, Gwent at this point, streaming Gwent, but I plan to get into other things as well. You should let me know if there's certain games I really should play on stream or whatever. But one I was considering is this game that I've been very excited for. I haven't been able to jump into yet,
Mm-hmm.
but 12 minutes. So
Yeah.
12 minutes. I've been very pumped for this. It looks unique, top-down story kind of thing, starring Willem Dafoe, I think Daisy Ridley and John or James McAvoy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think it looks really cool. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been staying away from other people playing. I've been staying away from reviews. I haven't looked at basically anything about it. I just want to jump in and play it sometime. So
Yeah, it does look like a fun story. I know we'd seen several trailers during like E3 and a couple of other showcases, and yeah, this looks like an excellent game.
so it's on Game Pass, now. I want I was the reason I didn't stream this was because I don't want any backseat gaming. And I
Mm-hmm.
know you kind of invite that. Like I know some people say don't, I don't want to know or whatever, but you kind of invite that if you're going to play something for people to give you advice or
Right.
um or people that have already played it will jump in and like want to tell you something. It's like, no, I did need to figure out myself or whatever. So,
Yep. Yep.
I don't know. But then I think it was last week, I had mentioned a
Mm-hmm.
poll. I found it again, the results now. This was by GameSpot. Sorry. It's if you can only have one remake
Interesting.
slash remaster between Silent Hill, Resident Evil 4, GoldenEye 007, or Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, what would you choose? And there were 254,753 votes.
Your game crushed it.
Um, yeah, I said Knights of the Republic should be the one
Yep.
to get it because I think would have the most to gain
Mm-hmm.
as a modern game.
Yep.
Um, so that was 43% chose
Yep.
that.
Yep. 43%
Second
agreed with you.
was yeah, yeah. I mean, look at me along with the popular culture. That's pretty different.
Well, and
Um,
I mean, double the next highest for Silent Hill
mhm.
at 21%. Like, people really agreed with you.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I think people think we're getting another Silent Hill too. So
Yeah.
maybe that's like, well, we're already gonna get that.
Mhm.
Um, and then and then third, Goldeneye at
Mhm.
19%.
Yep.
Which would be good, but we did already have kind of a remake on the Wii, and I know that's still
Right.
been a minute, but it is playable.
Mhm.
It's been updated. Alan shared too. Someone remade GoldenEye in Far Cry 5, so I know there's been some
Oh,
fan
okay.
efforts for sure of modernizing GoldenEye, but frankly, it's a shooter. Like, I mean, it's really cool, and I love it's very important what it did to
Mhm.
for shooters on the console space in a way, and it was very big in the moment and everything. But if you had a
Right.
modern version of that, I think it'd be really cool, but it's not groundbreaking. It's not
Right.
changing anything, it's so I don't know.
Yeah.
So I want to share what fourth place was.
Uh, y'all let me down. So 4th place, 17%, trailing just 2 behind GoldenEye was Resident Evil 4, which I wanted.
Well,
Ugh,
and here's the thing. So again, Resident Evil 4, I'm sure is going to get a remake.
it
So
is.
it's going to happen. And secondly, it's available on so many things yet. I mean, I can boot up my Xbox right now and download it and play it. And
Mhm.
it's still playable. It still plays like it does. The graphics will be boosted a little bit. It'll be a little cleaner. Um, you know, it's okay. Knights of the Republic seems very old because
Yeah.
it is. It's an original Xbox game. So,
Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't rush like, we always talk about how we hate when people remake stuff that's only been out for like a hot minute, and we've
mhm.
talked ad nauseum about all the Spider-Man reboots that were like, "My god, just like
Oh
give it a
yeah.
rest." So I mean, you can definitely do that too in the video game world, like reboot something that you're like, "No, no, no, like let it be." Um
Mhm.
and it's probably just the fact that I love that game so much and I just want like another one basically exactly like it but different because, I don't want to like play the same exact game, but I want to play like the exact same format, just different challenges. But
Hmm.
I get that, like, it doesn't need it right now. Like, now isn't, like, the most desperate moment for it to be remade. So,
Right. Right. All right. Well, um, one final story. I'm
yeah.
wearing my Master Chief shirt to I don't know, to commemorate the bad news, I guess. Um
Are you lending your support in this desperate hour to Halo?
well, so the news for
Mhm.
anyone in the gaming community is probably aware, Halo Infinite, it's been announced that it's going to launch without a forge mode or without and without campaign co-op.
Yeah.
Um
And they're coming out, what did they say, like 3 and 6 months
yeah, that's
after the launch?
the goal. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
goal. So, um I don't know. I guess I have a lot of thoughts on this, and a lot of people have a lot of thoughts on this.
Mhm.
I think that it's odd that we got a full year delay of this
Mhm.
game, and it's still going to launch now, not complete in this fashion.
Yes.
That's weird because it leads me to believe they overhauled a lot more than we thought they were
Mhm.
going to
Sure.
in this last year, you know, because they had to think that the game was coming out in some state and be was going to be playable and enjoyable
Mhm.
last year, and then changed their mind after fan reaction. And to me, it says they really changed a lot.
Yeah.
That now these are not here.
Yeah.
Um, some people it's given pause, like, you know, for all the goodwill that Microsoft has like created and all the like the amazing value of Game Pass and like a lot of good decisions, it is true they haven't really delivered on games much
Mhm.
yet. Like we're still not there. And
Mhm.
Halo's kind of the big one. It's kind
Yeah.
of designed to be the one that sort of kicks it all off, you
Mhm.
know? Before next year and the year after is like sort of begin of an onslaught of
Mhm.
titles. Well, are we set to expect this going forward from, I mean, Bethesda titles, or like is this just a
Right.
Halo issue right now, you know? I
Right.
don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't inspire much confidence. Like you said, when we're already delaying a game, and then it's like, okay, well, we promise we won't delay it any longer, but you're going to be missing these major features. Um,
Mhm.
to me, at that point, like, I don't know what the value is in releasing the game without these. You've already delayed. There's no point, I think, in not just like taking the hit and saying, sorry, we retooled the game due to feedback. It's taking us longer than possible, but we want you to have the full experience. So we'll release it soon. Like I just don't know what,
Well,
like, how this is better, and how like this backlash to, we're gonna release the game without these features is better than like backlash would be to, oh, they're delaying it again.
I'll tell you why. So so there's talk, obvious. So Halo, for people my age, a little older, Halo was a pretty big deal. It really
Heck yeah.
was and it was a proof of concept that a first person shooter could really work on a console.
Yeah.
And it really bred a good competitive scene, and it was an influential game. And but a lot of kids now don't know anything about Halo. A lot of people have not played Halo or anything about. They don't just they're it's not a part of their life.
Mhm.
So this game is important, and so that would lend itself to, it needs to hit and needs to come out well. I think though most of that success, if it's going to have it, is going to hinge on the multiplayer. If
Mm.
Halo Infinite's going to be successful, on a wide scale, it needs to have the multiplayer, and that needs to be perfect. And it needs to
Mhm.
have the right structure for seasons and how people get content and they keep delivering it and all this stuff. Um, the reason you don't delay it, besides it just being another embarrassment, is because supposedly Battlefield that's coming out this year is not play testing well.
Mhm.
So the last Battlefield didn't do all that well, and this next one looks really cool and people are excited, but supposedly it's in kind of rough shape yet.
Okay.
And then the Call of Duty game is seeing like a lack of there's it's multifaceted. There's for the people that are like uber into it, there's controversy around Activision.
Mhm.
And then for everybody else, just in the casual audience, there seems to be less interest because they're going back again, I believe, to World War II.
Okay.
And there's just been there was supposedly production issues as well with that game. You know, it was revealed later than normal, I believe, what it was going
Mhm.
to be and everything. So this may be a good year for Halo to get in and get eyeballs on it and have
Sure.
people play it when maybe the other two are at a weaker point.
Sure. Yeah, I that would make a whole lot more sense. And I mean, if that's the thought behind it, then, you know, I guess I hope that works. Um and that it's not like, we're released but people feel like these big gaping holes in their gameplay,
Hmm.
you know.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
hopefully it's not like a we're all excited and it's going to be released and then like I don't know. I'm just thinking of like all the issues that like Cyberpunk had.
Yeah.
And I know this is
Yep.
like a little bit different than that and like people
Yep.
anticipating like a full on game and then, there were so many issues, but still it just feels like I don't know. I mean, they're sort of stuck. It's a catch 22. Like release it now without the
Yeah.
features. People are going to be pissed, but delay, people are going to be pissed.
Yeah. I don't know what the right move is for sure. And
Mhm.
I would honestly understand either course of action. Delay it further or launch it now. Um, I guess I'm as much as I like Halo, I'm not super passionate about how I just want it to release in a non-buggy state. And what is there, I really like. That's
Yeah.
what I want. You know, because I do like playing Halo in co-op a lot. You know,
Mhm.
that's a way I often play it.
Yeah.
And Forge mode, though I haven't done that much. Luke has some, and I've played some fun maps that way or whatever. So like, they're important features for sure.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, they're
but
not small. I mean, they're not like you can't play the game at all, but it's not like small things.
yep, yep. And the other thought might be too that a lot of they're expecting a lot of people to play this that are playing this game are playing Halo game for the first time, and a
Mhm.
lot of games don't have co-op.
Yeah.
So to people that have played them all before and
Yeah,
the
I see what
hardcore
you're saying.
fans, you're like, it's expected. It's part of Halo.
Right.
But for other people, it's not
Mhm.
necessarily. So,
Right. So it's not as big a deal to attracting a new audience as it is to like
right.
your already existing audience,
Hmm.
which sucks because like I get wanting to prioritize getting, new gamers, but then it sort of feels like you're a little bit like, telling your existing fan base like, "Well, we know we have you, so
Yeah,
just like hold on a second.
right.
We're okay
No,
disappointing you for now." But again,
no, absolutely. Because
like
I
not a
mean,
good
I
move
usually,
either way.
yeah, I think there's definitely usually a way to, you don't have to you don't have to take a dump on your fans in order to make new people happy or bring in new people.
Right.
So I think if you prioritize fans, you're able to, you know, you don't betray the trust they've given you.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
that's the kind of thing. That's what we see issues with everything in Disney. That's what
Mhm.
take all this. this goodwill that they've created over decades,
Mhm.
and then just, forget about those people because there'll be new people that,
Right.
like it. So, yep. Okay. Well, I mean, I feel something feels wrong here. This is like the shortest episode ever. I
I
mean,
know. Normally we're asking Alan like, "Is this our longest episode? Is this now?" And
yeah.
now we're like total opposite. Alan's like, "Oh my
Mhm.
god, my night is free. What's happening to me?"
Yep. Yep. 80 minutes, he says. 80 minutes.
80
Yeah.
minutes.
That's
Crushed
that's
it.
crazy. Um, so yeah, that's about it. Everybody that's watching, that tunes in, let us know, what game would you want to be the only game remade if you had to choose? Are you excited for the Blade Runner animation? Do you call things that aren't anime? You know, what,
Because John has
like,
some thoughts for you.
yeah, yep. So, anyways, that's been Popcast on the Rocks, episode 72. We normally stream Wednesdays, but it
Mhm.
gets mixed up once in a while. Weekly show. So join us here live on Twitch. You can watch our videos later on YouTube. We're also on most of the major podcast directories. And wherever you enjoy our content, please like and review and share and all that sort of thing. Um, Help other people find us. And I think that's about it. Other than I sometimes do this. Our sponsor, they're not our sponsor. They wouldn't want me to say this. They're our sponsor. They like, we disapprove of your message or something. Um, but Killing the Flower, we thank them for our theme song. So you should check them out on Spotify
Mhm.
and YouTube and Instagram. And I know they're working on some new stuff now too. So
Yeah.
pretty soon, be something new coming there, I would guess. And I've been streaming with my brother-in-law, Lucas333. That's Lucas with a K. You should follow him on Twitch. We're usually doing that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in the afternoon. So follow him there. And I'm trying to get into a little more game streaming myself for the channel. As I mentioned earlier, I had a couple Gwent streams this week or whatever, and maybe we'll get some other games going as well. So, anyways, that'll about do it for us. Andrea, thanks again for joining me.
Of course, as always. Cheers, everybody.